So it doesn't look like we're getting a Chapter 3 OG season, at least not anytime soon. During the remix season, I was kinda hoping Chapter 3 OG would be saved for a much later time. We've already seen how polarizing OG and remix has been for the community. With the remix season and of course the permanent OG game mode, I feel people are a little exhausted with the OG experience. The biggest arguments against these throwback experiences are clear. They don't feel authentically OG. The weapon icons are different. Even the grass feels different. But most importantly, the issue of these OG seasons is we don't experience the full breadth of a chapter. Or no, funny enough, Chapter 3 was the last time we experienced that without abruptly relocating to OG or remix. And it looks like we can be experiencing that again, but without an OG season. It depends how Epic will package the Simpsons season. We're not quite sure what we're going to get with the Simpsons collab, if it's even still happening. And maybe something to answer in the comments section. The Simpsons or Chapter 3 OG. But going into Chapter 6 after remix, it was already clear players were getting fatigued with the OG format, or the OG season format. Sure, we have the so-called permanent OG mode, which I've already discussed, but for a lot of people the experience feels off, whether it's the inconsistencies in the map, or just the overwhelming amount of bots. Many players felt disconnected from the nostalgia they once felt for these modes, for these seasons, for these chapters. And it's funny because I'm probably going to have to lean into my nostalgia for Chapter 3 for this video. That said, I have recently jumped back into OG and honestly almost every player I encounter feels real. And for my playstyle, I actually like going up against real players. Sure, it can be frustrating, you don't always win, but when you do, it's satisfying because it's earned. Although back to the possibilities of a Chapter 3 OG season. With the massive leaks, we've seen no indication of a Chapter 3 OG season coming anytime soon. It is quite possible that this is our penultimate season on this map, depending how the Simpsons collab is packaged to us. Chapter 6 Season 4 Bugged Invasion season could be our final season on this map. So we've already had Chapter 1 OG and Chapter 2 Remix, but I still believe there's room for Chapter 3. It brought great mechanics, great POIs, and some of the best storytelling Fortnite has ever seen. Chapter 3 Season 1 is considered a top 10 Fortnite season, and Chapter 3 Season 2 will go down in history as the best storytelling season ever. The IO vs the 7, the Collider event, our first real look at Geno, kind of. Even the back end of this chapter had some pretty good elements as well. Even Chapter 3 Season 3, which many will rank towards the bottom, the reality seeds, the hammer assault rifle, the reality biome, visually stunning. And Season 4, the Chrome movement, Evo Chrome weapons, the ability to upscale rarity based on how much damage you dealt, innovation. Let's not forget the tents, the grappler gloves, sleepy sounds, the daily bugle, the shield keg, the crowns, command cave-in. Chapter 3 introduced mechanics that truly felt like Fortnite was moving forward. It wasn't just a nostalgic trip, it was a fresh direction. While Chapter 2 was built with the blood of Chapter 1, Chapter 3 was a complete redesign for models, props, a complete new engine as well. If we do get a Chapter 3 OG, I expect an amalgamation of the chapter, not a season by season play. And honestly, I think that will work better. Chapter 3 had enough memorable content to support a blended OG experience. Now I get the criticism for later seasons, especially the Fracture event, which left the majority of people disappointed. But we have also seen hints of what Fracture could have been recently. Maybe, just maybe, Fortnite still has a chance to deliver something more compelling, something better than Zero Fusion. And if we're lucky, maybe Chapter 3 OG is still on the horizon. It deserves its moment. And guys, if you're currently enjoying the video, consider hitting that like button. Let's try and go for 300 likes in this video, so smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. For fans of the Fortnite storyline, you may be in luck if we get a Chapter 3 OG. Of course, for this season of Fortnite OG, Chapter OG Season 4, we got the Visitor, a remix skin of the Visitor, and of course, later in the chapter, we could get the Scientist. But Chapter 3 did give us the Foundation, the Imagine, and the Origin, so that would be an opportunity to get a remix version of these skins. Although according to CypherPK, Chapter 3 Season 2 is the worst battle pass ever. Chapter 3 Season 4 could give you another version of the Herald, which of course we think we have seen in the surveys, but that could be for the bug theme season next season. I'm aware of how the community views Chapter 3 Season 3 and Chapter 3 Season 4. I do believe that this chapter on the whole has real charm and likability. I can understand why people hated Paradise and Vibin, but on the whole I see no reason why this chapter doesn't deserve an amalgamated OG season. I definitely believe there can be a different process here. While with chapter 1 and chapter 2 people wanted it to be authentic, I would love chapter 3 to be reimagined, which is actually a fantastic name for the actual season itself. Chapter 3 reimagined, which I probably think is probably someone's concept art actually now thinking about it. And to be fair, is a great name given the war between the Seven and the IO. And storyline wise, it's probably a really good way to get Geno back into the story. Have the events play out differently from a different angle. I'm not saying go back in time, you don't need to, just a duplicate chapter 3 map with Geno finally resurfacing to reimagine the plan that failed so catastrophically for Collider, foiled by the Seven and the returning Paradigm from the Ice Moon. Oh my god, what a story that was! So you can have a remix collision fracture event and make them one event somehow. And it can either be success this time for Geno or failure again. What Geno doesn't know is the chrome has resurfaced or something, I don't know. I'm spitballing at this point, guys. Comment down below your theories, I would love to hear them. And maybe if we were to have Chapter 3 OG or Chapter 3 reimagined, the idea of this singularity styled mech can come true. Also we have as Eevee in a survey, which we still haven't got to this day. I actually made this thumbnail before I made the video. I've actually got almost every concept I've talked about in the thumbnail, which is crazy actually. I didn't really acknowledge that when I was making the thumbnail. We have the Imagined Order, we have remix skins, we have remix events, we have the Herald back again. If you can even make out that is the Herald. But I really do believe that Chapter 3 deserves to come back. It 100% in my opinion deserves a second outing. I don't believe it deserves a permanent mode. I know there was talk of Chapter 2 replacing the permanent OG Chapter 1, but it's not real, never was really permanent. I'd be very much against currently for there to be a Chapter 1 OG mode and a Chapter 2 OG mode permanently. I feel like it's splitting the BR audience far too much. Now we have Blitz, Reload is doing well, so the players are split across the board, and in the long run with UEFN I don't think that will matter for Fortnite, but currently that's not the play. Like, do you just keep adding permanent OG modes? Chapter 1, Chapter 2, Chapter 3. And no, that's an awful idea. I think a permanent Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 are awful ideas. I go back to an idea I had about a year ago. They shouldn't have a permanent season by season OG mode. Now let me explain. I believe they should have every single season ever in Fortnite join a rotation. And it doesn't even have to be in order. 1 week we can have Chapter 1 Season 5. And we can have another map in rotation, of course. We can have Chapter 2 Season 8. So Chapter 1 Season 5 and Chapter 2 Season 8 rotating every 30 minutes. And that would happen for about a month or two. And then they change the maps to Chapter 3 Season 2 and Chapter 5 Season 1. Because at the moment with OG playing it season by season, we're getting to the point where people are like, don't like 5, don't like 7, definitely going to wait for 6, can't be asked for 7. Oh, then we've got 8, 8 was a poor season. Oh, but 9's great, oh, Season X. Instead, start with Chapter 2 Season 5, and then Chapter 4 Season 1, and then we go back to Chapter 1 Season 3, and then forward to Chapter 5 Season 6. That wasn't a season, but you get my drift. I believe we're all looking forward to the events now, aren't we? But guys, if you made it this far into the video, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Let's get to 300 likes, as I say. I'm sure you let me know in the comments if I got that wrong. But Fortnite consider a Chapter 3 OG season. But maybe the inclusion of Reload has put an end to OG seasons, so they can effectively make a amalgamated, smaller version of each chapter in Reload. But it's not the same. Anyway guys, as I said, comment down below. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.